We celebrate today the life of Jedediah R. Valentine, an incredible and devoted husband, father, son, brother, uncle, grandson, cousin, and friend. Jed was born December 13th, 1980 in Brigham City, Utah, to righteous parents, Stephen and Paulette Valentine. He grew up in Tremont, Utah, and was the oldest of 3 children. He was the kind of son any parent would hope for, and the perfect brother to his 2 little sisters. You really don't find a sibling this good very often. He was our protector, the jokester who always had us laughing, and he was such a good brother. He let his 2 little sisters tag along with him and his friends without complaining, even if they were a nuisance. Mariann showed her admiration for her brother when, as a little girl, she would slick her hair down and try to look just like Jed. Talease could always count on him for good advice about sports or dating. He was always there for his sisters and so loyal. He attended all his sisters' sporting events. Jed was a fun-loving little boy and loved to sing and dance. He was in his mother's singing group called Sunshine Generation. Jed's charismatic personality and love for life made him a friend magnet. He had a wonderful neighborhood full of kids that loved to be around him. His childhood home was always full of friends. Jed made an impact on many lives, starting in childhood, and made a lasting impression on everyone he met.
Some of Jed's favorite memories of childhood were vacations to California, going to the houseboat at Lake Powell, and spending time at the family cabin. The deer hunt every October was his favorite time of year, spending time together at the family cabin on Cola. One of the most memorable years was when Jed, at the age of 16, came back from the opening morning hunt with a huge buck that we still talk about to this day. He loves sports, especially baseball and football, and he currently holds a state record for hitting 2 home runs in a single inning. Many loved ones attended every sport event of his, and we loved every minute.
Jed graduated from Bear River High School and LDS Seminary in 1999. He has made lasting friendships with many people he attended school with. Jed was loved by all he came in contact with and was a friend to everyone. He could bring a crowd wherever he went, and it was no exception in high school. He was always having a party at his house. After graduation, he served an LDS mission to Belém, Brazil from 2000 to 2002. He loved the people he served in Brazil and was a humble, hardworking missionary.
Jed and his childhood sweetheart, Katie Elizabeth Nicholas, were connected at a very young age, meeting as infants in their car seats while their moms did aerobics together. During their growing up years, Jed had an amazing love for Katie, dating clear back to little kids in elementary school. They even exchanged gifts in grade school to show their affection. One year was especially memorable when Katie gave Jed a glove with the 2 middle fingers sewn down and stuffed with cotton to stand up straight with the sign, "I love you." And Jed gave Katie a little dog with the writing, "Hot dog, I love you," on the front, which she still has to this day. One story about the love Jed had for Katie was recalled beautifully from a childhood friend. He said, "Jed and I rode our bikes to Kings in Tremont in February to buy Valentine's presents for some girls in our class. We bought big chocolate hearts to give to them the next day. I was afraid my parents would find out, so Jed took both chocolate hearts with him to his house because he didn't think his parents would get mad. The next morning, Jed and I walked to school with the gifts. Jed had me give his to Katie for him, and had me ask her if she would be his girlfriend. She said her parents would not let her have a boyfriend. Katie was all Jed ever wanted to talk about. Jed took Katie on her first date when she turned 16, and Jed was the only boy she ever kissed. Years later, when Jed returned from his mission, the young love he always had for Katie became evident as he fell in love with her all over again. Katie had a mission call to the Dominican Republic when Jed arrived home from his mission. As they spent time together, they realized their future was meant to be spent together. Their young love turned into eternity as Katie gave up her call to the Dominican Republic to get married. Jed married the love of his life in the Logan Temple on August 1st, 2002. They just celebrated their 14th wedding anniversary. Jed and Katie's devotion to each other was evident to all those around because they called each other love.
Jed and Katie made their newlywed home in Provo, Utah, where Jed attended UVSC and received his bachelor's in construction management. While in Provo, they became parents as they welcomed their first son, Lucas, on December 6th of 2004. In 2006, Jed and Katie moved their family to Spanish Fork, a neighborhood loaded with lots of young families, great get-togethers, and an atmosphere of love and support. Jed loved his community, and their family grew here in Spanish Fork as they welcomed Cody on July 16, 2007, Riker on May 29, 2009, and finally got their little girl, Hadley, on July 29, 2011. Jed was an exceptional father to his 4 wonderful children. He devoted his life to loving his children, teaching them the values of life, teaching them the rules of righteous living, and nurturing their spiritual development. Jed always sought to stay close to his children. He would attend all their sporting events and other activities and was their biggest fan. His children never lacked his attention or love. He spent the weekend before his passing with his eldest son Lucas on a campout. He loved supporting his children in sports. Jed was Cody and Riker's baseball coach. He loved watching Lucas play any sport, and Hadley was his princess. He devoted every minute he could spare to be with his precious children and spouse.
Jed used his bachelor's degree in construction management and was currently employed at Oakland Construction, where he enjoyed his passion as a concrete estimator. He worked for a couple of companies through his work career, but one thing remained constant. He made lasting friendships working alongside many good people.
Jed enjoyed life to the fullest and had many passions in life. He could grill with the best of them. He loved to read. Most recently, he enjoyed audiobooks. He was always up for watching movies, but you wouldn't want to ask him if the movie was good because he just loved every movie. He was a talented artist. He loved being outdoors, where he enjoyed hunting, fishing, and golfing. One of the last adventures in the outdoors after serving in the Young Men's for 5 years was the 50-mile hike. He rode for 4 hours in a car to the trailhead with the food. By the time he got to the hike, he could not stand the smell of the food. Anytime the food was opened, he threw up. He pretty much starved on that trip because he couldn't eat the stinky cheese lasagna they had for the food. He ended up coming home 10 pounds lighter. He played softball for many years and was currently playing with a team called the Screwballs. Jed loved to dance and sing. This was portrayed every year when Jed and Katie would have a neighborhood give-back dance with friends and neighbors. Everyone left this party with smiles on their faces and hilarious new stories to tell.
To say Jed was fun to be around was an understatement. He had a talent for telling funny stories. He was always up for any game and was as competitive as they come. He could pull a prank with the best of them. Just recently, he short-sheeted his mother-in-law's bed. He loved to laugh and had a hard time with serious meetings. Jed was adored by his nieces and nephews and was so good with the babies that he got the nickname Baby Whisperer. He was always ready to show magic tricks and really just up for anything the little ones wanted to do.
Jed was a devout member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. He had a strong testimony of the gospel of Jesus Christ, and it showed as he served in many callings in the church. In Young Men's, as a counselor in the bishopric, and currently serving in the High Council. Jed had an incredible gift of reaching out to everyone, young and old. He was always kind and caring. Jed knew how to serve and was a kind-hearted person. Jed's concern and care for others made him a home teacher you would love to have. He was currently the Timmons home teacher, and they loved the Valentine family so much, they grew a garden just for them this year, even planting cucumbers, which they don't really care for, to give to the Valentine family.
Many of Earth's greatest and noblest souls live their lives without glamour and social prestige, without newspaper and television headlines. Yet their individual histories are examples of a life filled with honor and filled with meaning and purpose, where eternal values and principles are lived and well taught and imprinted upon the succeeding generations.
On August 22nd, 2006, Jed returned to his Heavenly Father with honor when he unexpectedly suffered a pulmonary thromboembolism due to a deep venous thrombosis, which is several blood clots in the lungs. Jed's lasting legacy is his family.
He is survived by his wife, Katie, children Lucas, Cody, Riker, and Hadley of Spanish Fork, parents Stephen and Paulette Valentine of Washington, Utah, siblings Talease Perkins of Washington, Utah, Marianne Thomas of Early, Utah, and 7 nephews and 5 nieces who adored their uncle. Grandparents Donna Valentine of Brigham City, Utah, and Louis and Marietta Beatty of Hurricane, Utah. He is preceded in death by his grandpa, Ted Valentine.
Jed, this is not a goodbye. It is a we will see you again. We all love you.